Hello friends, welcome to Healthy 5 with Dr. Niyati. Healthy 5 with Dr. Niyati focuses on your wellness and your fitness. So I had done an episode on what exactly is your gut health. In that I had explained to you exactly what happens when our digestion just begins. Now I'm going to go into the depths of gut health, anti-inflammatory food that is being talked about a lot nowadays as people are gaining weight. So before starting, I would like to let you know that Healthy 5 and Dr. Niyati are WhatsApp groups also. If you're interested in joining the WhatsApp groups, you can call me. My number is there in the description box. So you can call me or message me that you would like to be added to the groups. Those are totally silent groups, only admins groups, which I open on Sundays in case you have any queries, doubts, or questions which you would like to ask me. And those questions are answered during the week and also in Healthy 5 with Dr. Niyati YouTube channel. If you haven't yet subscribed for the channel, do subscribe and also press the notification bell icon. I'm going to come with certain live videos also from next month, and I would like that you participated and chatted with me live so that I come to know about things that you are interested in. So without wasting much time, I would like to go into the second episode of how to maintain our gut health. As I told you about, the first stage of digestion is the whole food that we eat is liquefied in our stomach. Hence, we should keep at least 1/3 of our stomach empty. We can give it the example like when we are using a mixer jar, we do not fill it to the brim with things that are to be mixed, but we just fill 1/3 of the jar. Rest we give liquid or water, and we keep some of the jar empty. The same way, we need to give it space when the food gets totally transformed and becomes liquefied. Now this liquefied food then goes into the duodenum, jejunum and ileum, which are the three parts of the small intestine. The small intestine is approximately 21 inches long. From there it goes into the cecum, and from the cecum it goes into the large intestine, that is the ascending colon, the transverse colon and the descending colon. So this is the way the food is going to move. Now, what happens is that when we eat too much of food and there's already fecal matter in the intestines, the stomach says, okay, let me rest for some time because this fecal matter is giving so much pressure to me and I cannot liquefy the food. And so the stomach is getting pressed. Where is it getting pressed? There is a diaphragm between our lungs and between our abdomen. So diaphragm gets pushed up. So many a times people feel, you must have noticed that if you have a too heavy meal, you feel out of breath. That's not because you have asthma or you have some problems with your breathing, but it's because the food that you're eating has filled your stomach so much that it's pushing the diaphragm up, and hence the lung space is getting reduced and so you cannot breathe. So what happens is, now people today complain that, doctor, when we get up in the morning, we don't feel that urge of going to the toilet. Okay. Now a very simple question I ask them is that if you want to go to the toilet early morning when you wake up, say at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., it is very important to know what time you are going to have your dinner. So you should have had your dinner at least, say, latest by 8 or 8:30, so that you have a clear motion in the morning at 6 or 7 o'clock. If you want to have a clear motion at 5 o'clock, then I think you should have finished your dinner by 7 o'clock. Just see. So what happens is, people usually, even in small villages and towns nowadays, the tendency is that everyone is having their dinner very late. They have their dinner by 10 o'clock. Most of the times I see women have some work in the house, so they're finishing off the after dinner things that they need to tidy up or prepare for the next morning and things like that. So women in the house are generally active, but most of the people will either then settle on the couch in front of the TV or sit chatting, or children will be seeing their tab, but nobody thinks about how I'm going to digest this food. If you're worried that you're not having a clear motion or an urge of going to the toilet in the morning, you should be actually worrying about what time you're going to have your dinner and how you're going to digest your dinner. After your dinner, it is very important that you walk at least for 1,000 to 1,500 steps. At least 1000 to 1500 steps, and that too very slowly. You don't have to be out of breath and do fast and brisk walking. If you don't have a place, you can just do on the spot very slow marching also. That also helps, so that the food starts moving from the stomach into the intestines. In Ayurveda, there is a disease called as alasak. Alasak means lazy, alshi, alsak. So lazy, alsi. So that alasak means that food remains in the stomach. It refuses to go ahead because there's so much of matter in the intestines. It's like a traffic jam in your intestines. So now what happens is, if a person is eating at 10 o'clock and not having a motion at 5 o'clock when he or she gets up, they have to go to the office, they have to finish their breakfast, cook and things like that, and you don't get a motion at 5 o'clock, what is happening is that there is an over abuse of laxatives. Remember, like I told in the first episode, you take castor oil once in a week. That is not an over abuse of a laxative. That is a detoxification of your body in order to remove the oil soluble toxins that get ingested by you through the food. But here we are talking about over abuse of laxatives. I've seen people taking Triphala Churan, Kayam Churan, other kadhas and things like that, which give a clear motion in the morning almost every day. Now you realize what has happened is that you're not giving your digestion the time to digest. So remember one thing, what happens is most of the people leave their office or workplace say at 5 o'clock, and by the time they come home it's 7 o'clock and you're really ravishingly hungry. So many a times when I am walking on the street at that time, all the vada pav stalls and the bhaji stalls and maybe the bhel puri stalls and sandwich stalls are flocked with people who are on the way to home, or even the stalls that sell food on the railway stations are generally full with people who want to pick up a snack while going back. Even if you sit in the train, you see people who've carried something with them are opening their tiffins and having something. Now here also examine yourself. What have you done physically to deserve this kind of food at that time? If we've been sitting in the office all the time, that means you haven't really worked out. So at that time when you're feeling hungry, enjoy that feeling of hunger. Let your digestive juices sort of, flush out into your digestive system. Let them come there. Let them look around. Where's the food? Where's the food? There's no food. Oh, so there's leftover fecal matter here. Let me finish it off. So there's so much backlog for them to do. Give them the time to do all that backlog. If there is a lot of fecal matter stored in the gut, then there will be pressure on the gut, and then slowly there will be something that is today called as leaky gut syndrome, and there are certain things that we are allergic to. We become allergic to because of overeating of other foods. So remember, it's not about what you should eat. It is about what you should not eat. If it's possible, don't eat, then don't eat. It's good. Give yourself some time to remove all the backlog from your body. Now, along with this, people ask me about intermittent fasting and long-term fasting and things like that. So with this, in this same episode about gut health, I'm coming with a third episode which will tell you about what is fasting, what is intermittent fasting, what is this inflammatory food. So please remember the third part. Don't forget to miss it. If you've liked this episode, if you have any questions about this episode, don't hesitate to ask them in the comment box. Do leave your comments. Even if you like this episode, it gives me an impetus to make better episodes and different topics for you. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being with Healthify with Dr. Niyati.